Hello friends, this video on thermodynamics part 8 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos from part 1 to 7 before going ahead with part 8. Now that we are clear with what is internal energy, heat and work, now we can start discussing first law of thermodynamics. Because first law of thermodynamics is nothing but a relation between heat, work and internal energy. So let us see what does the first law of thermodynamics state. It states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only transformed to other forms. We have studied conservation of energy everywhere. In all energy conservation, it says that energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be transformed to other forms. So same is true even in case of thermodynamics. When we say this, we take the common examples of a ball falling from the roof of a building. What happens? When the ball is at the roof of the building, it has only potential energy. As it starts falling down, the potential energy starts decreasing and the kinetic energy starts increasing. That means potential energy is not getting lost, rather it is getting transformed to kinetic energy. So similarly, we can take the example of when we rub our hands together. What happens when we rub our hands? The kinetic energy or the mechanical energy when we rub our hands get transformed into heat energy, because of which if you see that when you rub your hands for quite a long time, you tend to feel hot, right? That's because the mechanical energy when you move your hands together, they get converted into heat energy, which gives us the feeling of warmth. So first law of thermodynamics states that sometimes it appears to us that some kind of energy is getting lost somewhere, but basically it is not getting lost somewhere, it is getting transformed to some other form of energy. Now we will see, this was the logical expression of first law of thermodynamics. Now we will see the mathematical expression. How is first law of thermodynamics expressed or defined mathematically? First law of thermodynamics says that if an amount of heat, say delta Q, is supplied to any system, let us suppose we have any system. This is my system and rest everything else is surroundings, right? Now suppose if I supply an amount of heat, say delta Q, to this system, then what happens? This is the input which I am giving to the system, and this system is doing some amount of work, say delta W, on the surroundings. So this is the input which I am giving to the system and this is the output which is coming from the system. But it is observed that the amount of heat which I am giving to the system, some part of this heat is lost and the remaining part is coming out as work done on the surroundings. So where is this remaining part going? This remaining part is used up in increasing the internal energy of the system. So what happens when I supply an amount of heat delta Q to the system? The system uses a small portion of this heat in order to increase its own internal energy, right? Because whenever heat is added to the system, there will be some change in temperature of the system. So that change in temperature will cause a change in internal energy, right? Because internal energy is related to kinetic and potential energy. So when the temperature increases, the movement of the molecules inside the system increases. So the sum of kinetic and potential energy will also change. So the internal energy will also change. So when you supply some amount of heat to the system, a small portion of that heat is used up in increasing or changing the internal energy of the system, and the remaining amount of heat is given out as work done on the surroundings. So here we say this is the expression of first law of thermodynamics. Delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W, where delta Q is the heat supplied to the system by the surroundings, delta W is the work done by the system on surroundings, and Delta U is the change in internal energy of the system. So this is our first law of thermodynamics. So what do we conclude from the statement of first law of thermodynamics? Let us look at that. We saw that first law of thermodynamics says that delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W. So from this we can say that delta Q minus delta W is equal to delta U. Now, just before I started this topic on first law of thermodynamics, I told you what is the difference between heat, work and internal energy. I told that heat and work are not state variables, whereas internal energy is a state variable, right? I also told you that a state variable is something which depends only on the state of the system. It doesn't depend on how the state is achieved. So state variables are path independent, right? So they don't depend upon which path was followed to reach that particular state. So this internal energy is path independent, but work done is path dependent, because work done is nothing but a mode of transfer. So how is that work done is also important when we talk about work done. Similarly, heat flow is also path dependent because they are not state variables. So let us suppose that we have a particular system. Let us suppose we have a system whose initial state is defined by these variables P1, V1. After some time, the final state of the system is defined by P2, V2. So, for the system in reaching from its initial state to final state, there was some change in internal energy, let us say delta U. So, this delta U does not depend on how the system changed from P1, V1 to P2, V2. So, internal energy only is concerned with the state of the system at one particular time. It has nothing to do with how the state changed from initial to final. But if I talk about the amount of work done in reaching the initial to final state, it depends on how the system reached from initial to final state. So, from this discussion, we can say that delta U is path independent. So, we can say that the difference of, that is delta Q minus delta W, is path independent. So the difference of two path dependent quantities is path independent. So this was one conclusion which we got from the first law of thermodynamics, that even though heat and work are two path dependent quantities, but the difference of the two gives rise to a path independent quantity. Now let us look at certain special cases. For example, let us suppose that a system undergoes a process such that delta U is equal to 0. What do we mean when we say that delta U is 0? That means there is no change in internal energy of the system. The internal energy of the system remains constant. So in this case, what will happen? The first law of thermodynamics stated delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W. So delta U is equal to 0. So we can say that delta Q is equal to delta W. That means the heat supplied by the surroundings to system should be equal to the work done by the system on surroundings. Let us suppose this is my system. Whatever amount of heat is given to the system, that much amount of work should be done to the surroundings. Right? So that means the amount of input should be equal to the amount of output. There should be no loss or no deduction anywhere. Right? Now let us look at the second case. It says that let us suppose that system is a gas in a cylinder with movable piston. Let us suppose we have a cylinder somewhat like this and it is fitted with a piston. This is a piston. So you know what is a piston, right? It is a kind of a movable handle, right? So and here we have a gas. A gas is enclosed in this system and this is the piston which can be moved. Now since the piston is movable, so by moving the piston we can change the volume of the gas, right? Because if we push the piston very much downwards, then the volume will decrease. Similarly, if we move it upward, the volume will increase. So the piston being movable, as we move the piston, the volume of the gas changes. And as the piston is moved, there is some work. Suppose if I move the piston downwards, there is some work done on the system, right? So how do we define that work done on the system? As the piston is moved, there is some work done involved. So that work done, that is delta W, will be given by, we know that what is work? How did we define work? Work was nothing but force into displacement. What is force in terms of pressure? Force in terms of pressure is pressure into area, because pressure is nothing but force by area. So this is pressure into area into displacement. Now what is area into displacement? Area into displacement is nothing but volume, or the change in volume which will take place, right? So let us suppose that change in volume is denoted by delta V, because as we move it down, so there will be some change in volume involved. So we can say that delta W can be written as the product of pressure and the change in volume. Therefore, according to the first law, delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W. This can be written as delta Q is equal to delta U plus P delta V. So this is the form of the first law of thermodynamics in case of a gas in a cylinder with movable piston. So these were two special cases which are related to the statement of first law of thermodynamics. So I just described them, because if you understand these kind of scenarios, it will be easier for you to solve numerical problems, because sometimes in numerical problems you just knowing the statement of first law of thermodynamics doesn't help. You should also know how to use the first law in different scenarios. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.